So let's start with the release itself, like what you felt in the chair, what you felt right afterwards, how the whole experience was.
Okay, sure. So of course, first they numbed me up and everything, but when they mostly used a laser, and when they first started kind of going in there, the first thing I felt was for me, I've always had tightness more on the right side than the left, and I could feel the fascia on the right side of my jaw just like melting, and my jaw just kind of went, and I was just like, it was
Oh,
crazy. And then after that, it went into my neck and shoulders here. And then I kind of had like almost like a fluttering of my heart. Like
oh,
I was laying there and I was just kind of feeling like they said it was kind of like endorphins kind of releasing, like as all this tension release. I didn't have like a big emotional release like during the procedure. It happened like later for me. but
wow.
yeah, but it was just mostly feeling the physical this things physically happening during the release.
That's so cool. And what
Mhm.
I think is so amazing is that, um, we've made a lot of progress with your facial symmetry even up till now. But it's
Mhm.
interesting that, like, that I think this shows that, like, that was the seed that sort of started all of this because you could
Right.
feel it totally dissipate. So,
Right.
so cool.
And they also did my lip ties. They did both of them, and I had 2 what they call buckle ties here and here, so they did all of my ties too. And immediately after it was over, I just felt, especially my upper lip, I was like, "I feel like I have a lot more lip." Like, it's
Yeah.
it felt like so
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
felt like I could so yeah, that was pretty bizarre, and I could also breathe through my nose even better. I've been practicing nose breathing for a while, but all of a sudden I just felt more space in my nose when I was breathing in.
So, so great. Wow. Oh, I love it. I love that people get fantastic results, but there is something like extra satisfying about people like you, the really kinesthetic people that can like feel it
Yeah.
happening. It's very juicy. Great. Well, tell me about your next 24 hours, 48 hours.
Okay, so for me, I didn't get a chance to do the singing right after like I had planned, and it was because the provider did like an interview with me immediately after, kind of like what you're doing, just kind of what did it
Yeah.
feel like and everything. And unfortunately, by the time I left, everything had worn off, and I was in quite a bit of pain.
Yeah.
And mostly, what it felt like was just kind of like it was like a burning all through here. It was like this entire root of my tongue was like on fire. And I think it's just because those muscles had been so tight for so long that that that's kind of what it felt like. It was like they were stretching out and they didn't want to.
Mm.
And it was pretty uncomfortable. But I just came home and I laid really still for a while and just tried to focus on relaxing that area as much as I could instead of like trying to protect it and like tensing up. And within like 2 hours, that was mostly gone.
Great.
Um, yeah, and I just kind of, so that day and the next day were about the same. It was like I was sore, talking was kind of hard, and I was, eating just smoothies and yogurt and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that's what we'll talk about today. You are kind of in that reclenching phase. So,
Yeah, and I am feeling it here too. Like the tightness that I've always had here, um, has it's so I can feel a difference. It feels like the whole muscles here are tightening up, but I know that there's these like there were these pieces that ran down here that were always really tight. Those aren't there anymore. That was
mhm.
one thing that was really crazy is right after I like was stretching my neck and all those pieces that would pull the most and be the most tight just were like gone.
Interesting. Interesting. Ah, great.